Okay, we're going to be walking you through your first project. Right here, make sure you have your using system first. That is the most important line you can possibly have. Read through your project and decide the steps that you need to take. We need to create our variables first. We need to display our menu. We need to have the customer order input. Have the cost calculations. And we need to have the display costs so the customer can double check and we know what to charge them. Now, it's important to note that you're probably going to do create variable as the first step in every program you write, because creating the variables is really the most important thing you can do. Without it, you're not going to have much of a program. And for this demonstration, we're going to be using constant variables because we will not want to change these. These are going to be strings, and we are going to do fruit salad first, and because it's a string, you get the quotes. Fruit salad. Constant string. We'll do smoothies next. Remember, constants need to be fully capitalized across their entire names. And we'll add cookie for fun. Okay. Next, we need to declare the prices of each item. These are decimals, so constant double. And fruit salad cost. Okay, the fruit salad cost is going to equal $9.95. Smoothie cost equals $4.95, and cookie cost equals $1.95. Now the cookie, for this purposes, is just to demonstrate you another variable. Now we have a few integers we're going to need to mess with, and that's number of item 1, number of item 2, and number of cookies. Now, the reason why I put number of cookies instead of item 1, 2, or 3 is just to show you these integers can be anything you name them, whatever is easiest for you. I prefer item 1, item 2. It's a little bit just simpler because you can change things around a little easier and you're still accurate. Now, we also have a few doubles we're going to be adding, which is the subtotal cost, the tax, and the total cost. And we have one more constant we want to add, which is going to be the tax rate. Tax rate is a double because it's a percentage. So, and for this purposes, tax rate's 9.5%. Translates well. And here we have all of our variables declared. Now it's time to display our menu items. Displaying the menu items is a little interesting because we have some visual flares we want to add just to make this look good. So I'm just going to add this at the top. Don't worry about how many asterisks there are, because this is something that you can go back and change really easily, and once you display it you can kind of mess around and just get a feel for how you want it to look and how you want the formatting to be. Now, going to right line, fruit salad, plus, colon, plus, okay, 0 colon C, which is going to display a variable as a currency or in the currency format. End it here. All right, comma. And what variable are we going to be placing into this? We're going to be placing the fruit salad cost. So fruit salad cost. Okay, clone that out. Then to make things a little faster, you can actually just copy, paste, and then change this to smoothie, and change this to smoothie costs. I like personally the copying and pasting. See, if you don't type everything right, it's not going to match, but I personally like the copying and pasting because you're keeping consistent line coding. It's a little easier to debug. It just feels a little bit better. So you can definitely type all this out if you want, and it might be good practice, but you don't want to make things more complicated than they need to be, and just copying and pasting completely works. So we have our menu displayed. Now we've got our input order, so this is where things get a little bit more fun, where you're going to want to write another line that this is just again for visual flair, and this is just, it's going to make your program look a lot better. So we have that. Tell to enter your order. That about now. We're going to have it ask how many fruit salads see here, we're going to, again, for visual flair, you want to put this here. This is what's called the leader. It just makes it a little easier to write, and because your project requires it, you want to just do the 0C, curly brackets, close, comma, fruit salad cost. Close that. And we are just going to, same thing we did previously. And copy and paste these to 2 new lines. Change fruit salad to smoothie. And change this to smoothie cost. Change this to cookie cost. And change this to cookie. Okay. But we need to actually have it ask the input. So what we need to do is tell it that number of item 1 is going to be equal to whatever's on this line right here directly below fruit salad, and have it convert this to an integer, convert to int 32, and dot read line, because we do not know how many there's going to be, so we want it to read the entire line, not just a keystroke. Okay. And number of item 2. Convert to integer 32. Console.read line. And one more for the cookies. So number of cookies. 2 console.read line. And that. Okay. Next up, we've got our cost calculations, which is a little simpler. So these are just basic calculations. Subtotal cost is going to be equal to number of item 1 times fruit salad cost plus number of item 2 times smoothie cost plus number of cookies times cookie cost. Now, this is key because this is where the sequential order comes in. We're going to calculate the actual tax for this cost. So that's going to be tax rate times subtotal cost. And because you would not be able to have subtotal cost without doing it first, that's why we call this sequential. That you're just going to calculate the total cost, which is equal to tax, not the tax rate, plus the subtotal cost. And now we're going to finish our program by displaying the cost. So we're going to do console.writeLine subtotal total. You can add a colon here if you want. I like adding a colon, makes it look nicer. Curly brackets 0C close curly bracket and subtotal cost, and that console.writeLine tax and again just the same thing here. Make sure you're ending every line with a colon or a semicolon in every line. And again, you could probably get away with finicking up the way this is, but they don't recommend it right now just because this is required for the project. So just this is good practice that you want this item to be in the currency form. That's just practice. Console.writeLine total colon 0C close curly brackets and total cost. And the last thing you're going to want to do is console.read key just to keep the program from closing. And let's just really quickly run this just to see what it looks like. Yep. Okay, fruit salad cookie. Entering number 5. 7 smoothies. 2. Okay. Runs up the total. You can see we can mess around with the spacing and the quotes to get this to look the way you want it to. Other than that, that's the end. Thank you.